Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Dave coming to you from right here in the office, the Wyoming house. Let's see. It's kind of early. It's still Wednesday morning. It's probably about 10:30 Wednesday morning here in Wyoming. Anyway, I've gotten over the last year, I've had several people ask me about being up here so much, and then I got a great question the other day about how do Amory and I stay apart for so long and make it work. So those are the two topics for this video. Is I think I'll even title it something like "Lonely versus Alone," and then but that'll be the first topic, and then I'll talk about being away from the wife so much. So those are the two topics for today. Not really a lot of tobacco content as usual, but that's if you're here for tobacco, that's really it for the day. If you want to kind of hear about what's it like to be alone so much, that's what this is about. So I know I sometimes probably come across as I'm up here alone a lot, and I am. This year I'm going to shatter my goal. I think it'll be 8 months that I'll be here versus in the Maryland house. And I guess the first question is, do I feel alone or do I feel lonely up here? And the answer is really no, because I know I'm up here alone a lot, but I do kind of want to show sort of the other side of it. By the time I get out of here the week before Thanksgiving, this will be a 5 month trip. But I wrote them down. Sean's been up here 3 times, a couple times by himself, a couple times with friends, and then he'll be up here this coming weekend, I believe. And then Amory actually came out and was here for a week, and then Potter Piper was out of here for almost 2 weeks. And then I just had a guest leave who was here 4 days. So almost 7 weeks of my time up here, I've had somebody in the house with me. So it's really quite different than it might seem. Um, and then I go downtown probably 5 days a week and see my boys at the lounge. I've had a couple ATV days. I played golf yesterday. I'm playing again tomorrow. That's like 14 or 15 rounds of golf. So that's 14 or 15 days where I've got 4 or 5 hours with 3 buddies. So there's a lot more going on than some of I put out on the videos. I see people way more than it might seem. I mean, I'm an hour outside of town. I'm pretty much alone up here on the homestead. So but I see people way more than I might have, I don't know, brought across in the videos. And then the other thing is I stay pretty busy even when I'm up here alone. I've shown you kind of over and over and over again all the work being done. So Doug's been here pretty much 5-6 days a week for the last 10 or 11 weeks. I'm out on the property working the saw, getting those trees down, getting the piles formed up. Then we've been working in the guest house, getting it cleaned up. So I'm pretty busy every day. And when I'm not busy here, I'm going downtown to get, you know, big action items done. I've had a lot of legal paperwork with getting the boat titled right, registered right, stickered right. I retitled the truck from Maryland to Wyoming. I just went down. I got new plates for my wife's Explorer. So I don't know. There's a lot going on. Busy, busy, busy. To me, that's the key. If you're the kind of person who feels lonely when you're alone, the key is to stay busy. Action cures a lot of emotion, in my opinion. So I guess in the first part of the video, just by kind of saying, I don't think I ever feel lonely up here. I'm alone a lot, but I'm also not alone a lot. Like today, right now, I've got a plumber in the guest house. We're winterizing the guest house and doing 2 minor repairs, one on a toilet refill valve and putting a new faucet in. So those guys are out there doing that. Doug is here trying to finish up on the log project. So even today, I've got people here, but I stay incredibly busy. I'm blessed with a lot of great friends here, 8 to 10 good friends. In fact, we're heading to dinner tonight. There's 6 of us heading to dinner tonight. I head to town 4, 5, 6 days a week and, starting to add fun to this trip. So I got to say, I'm really, I'm not sure I've ever felt lonely. If I do, very rarely. So let's move on and talk about being married and away from my wife so much. So being away from Anne Marie so much. It's not hard. It's not easy. It's just something that needs to be done to accomplish goals. And I have to say, I've been with Anne Marie since 1988. So we're coming up on 37 years here in another. In fact, about the time I drive away will be the 37th anniversary of us getting together. So we've been married since 1990, but we've been together since November of 88. So we have, very fortunate to have, we have a very strong marriage, and she's a very strong woman. So that helps. She's not overly needy. She doesn't, she's not saying, why are you gone so long? Why do you go there so much? Why can't you get home? Why can't you spend more time in Maryland? She's not that kind of person. So, and then the second thing I want to point out is sometimes the goals and objectives she and I both have justify us doing this sort of lifestyle. Getting the fire prep done, both here in the house and around the property, that justifies being separated at times. Getting the house restored, all of it, from the roof to the log restored, to the heat control system, to the oil burners, to the hot tub. Just the list is endless for the last 4 years. So those objectives, those goals really do help me and her understand why I'm gone. The other reason I'm out here quite a bit is I help Sean out, my son, by taking Ranger so he can travel. And both he and Ranger are much more comfortable with me caring for Ranger here. You've seen him in so many videos over the last 2 or 3 years. That really helps my son out, because when there's no expense, when he drops him off and picks him up, there's an excuse to spend some time together. Sometimes it's 2, 3, 4 days. And it's way better for Ranger than going into a kennel or sitting at home all day and having the neighbor come over once a day to feed him. So I feel good about that. So those are, those ends justify the means sort of thing. And then the other is maintaining friendships. Again, I've said it many times. At 61, I can't believe I've met 10 or 15 great people. I have 8 or 10 pretty good friends out of that group. And so being here, friendship requires physical presence, in my opinion. And so by being here, I can do that. I can go down to the lounge and spend a couple hours a day with the guys. I can go golfing with them. I can go to dinner with them. There's just lots of things we can do. We're doing a big fishing trip next week. And so all those ends kind of justify being apart. On the other side, Anne Marie has her own goals. She wants to be the daily primary care provider to her mom, who's 88, almost 89. She likes being in charge of the farm. She goes there every day. She rides every day. She likes the feeling of being needed by running the farm. And then we have 3 other dogs. You've seen them. They're all Goldens. Chance is our 11-year-old white Golden. Echo is our 5.5-year-old Golden. And then Finn is our 1.5-year-old white Golden. And so she stays home, and she doesn't want to cart them back and forth across the country. She likes to be home for them. So, and then she's got 3 or 4 pretty good friends that she likes to see. So by me having all these things I need to get done here, and she agrees they have to get done, and she has things back there, and I agree, between having a strong marriage, a strong woman, and both of us have goals, that's kind of how we have said it's okay to be apart this long. I guess the last part of that conversation about being away from Anne Marie so much is we have a history of some separation. When we got married in 90 and then we moved, she needed to come home, so we moved across the country from Seattle to Maryland so that she could be near her family. And then I took a job, and I said, hey, I've kind of quit my career, left all my friends, left my family. You have to leave me to go build my career. And so as soon as we got to DC, I got a job, and I got assigned 1 week in DC and 1 week in Boulder, Colorado, and I did that for 3 years. So I was gone every other week for 3 years. So our marriage kind of grew strong in separation for the first 3 years. So, and then running the company, growing the company, those 25 years, there was a lot of away time, a lot of 18 and 20-hour days, a lot of 6-day, 7-day work weeks. So we've had a lot of years where we've made it work while being apart. And so there are times I miss her, and there are times when I call her and go, "Hey, I miss you, and I just wanted to hear your voice today." There are our life together surrounds. Even when I'm in Maryland, we pretty much have 3 touch points every day. We have morning coffee together, we have dinner together, and then we end the day together by watching a movie or continue watching a series that we both like watching. So those are the 3 times of the day I'm most susceptible to feeling sorry for myself or feeling like I'm missing my wife. So we fill those up by we do phone calls. When one of us is lonely for the other, we give a call and we spend an hour on the phone, and that kind of works. And again, I never miss the holidays. I'll be home for Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. We'll all be together for those couple of months. So I guess that's kind of how we get through it. And the last piece I'll say is my classic argument, or what? We can be separate and make 2 things happen at once and just kind of make that work, or what? Or we have to be together all the time. We can only get Maryland shit done when we're in Maryland. We can only get out of here a few weeks a year and get a few things done, because we got to be together. We're not that kind of couple. We're not those kind of people. We don't have to be together every day, and we're both fine. In fact, I believe we're both more comfortable with some separation. Like I said, even when I'm in Maryland, pretty much from 8:30 a.m. till 2 or 3 in the afternoon, I'm over at the paddock getting things done at the paddock. So it's just comfortable. In fact, one of the things I think that breaks marriages is the need to constantly know where the other one is, constantly know what the other one's doing, be constantly in touch and together. I think that ends a lot of marriages after the guy retires. And we're very careful not to do that with each other. So that's how we do it. That's why I'm alone and not lonely. And that is why I'm able to sustain a great marriage by being gone so much. Again, it'll be 8 months this year. That's too much. I don't think I should repeat 8 months next year, but we'll see what life and the property and the house, the universe sends our way next year. But that's it. Hope this makes sense. Hope I give you some explanation of why I'm not lonely and how I can have such a great marriage being gone so much. Gosh, ask questions, make comments. I'd love to hear what you think. And that's it. I will talk to you guys on the next video. Bye, everybody.